Hello, I'm Mayor Cheryl Brothers. I'm here today at Giesler School, and because we are social distanced here, I am going to take my mask off for the rest of this video. In case you didn't know it, Fountain Valley, they've got a great reputation in their 7 elementary schools and 3 middle schools. So we're happy to be here today with Principal Terry Malpass with us today. So Principal Malpass, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
We know you're very busy in all of these challenging times with trying to get students back in the classroom, and I know you have a lot of construction going on, so we'll talk about that too. So we're here with students who are back in classes, and I'm sure the kids were anxious to do that. So tell us about when did the students return and what kind of schedule are they on?
Great. Thank you so much, Mayor Brothers, for having me today. And I couldn't be more proud of Giesler and our hybrid in-person opening. There was a lot of work that went into it, and I have to tell you, it's one of the most tremendous staffs. They have put their hands, pushed up their sleeves, and they've gotten down and dirty, and we've opened the year off, and it's been very successful. I also have to say we have some of the most incredible children as well as parents. And we really see this right now as a partnership, because the only way we will be able to keep Giesler open is by having this partnership. So a few things about Giesler. We're 410 students currently. We had some students that went virtual this year that we hope will be joining us again next year back here on campus. But to date, we have 410 students on campus. So the way that we brought students back this year was with the hybrid in-person model of the AM/PM cohorts. So we have an AM group that comes in. The gates open at 7:50. Students can start entering the gate. They all have designated gates that they enter through so that we have less traffic. And then they go off to their classrooms where they socially distance with X's or some sort of a marking on the ground where they wait for their teacher to come out. When their teacher comes out, there's a 4-question screener that every student goes through. So it's asking questions: are you sick? Have you been sick? Do you have a fever? And have you been in contact with anybody with COVID-19? But I will tell you that we've been very diligent in who is coming into the classroom. We sent out a video to all parents prior to the year opening that also showed them how to screen their child before ever coming to campus. So we're asking parents to be just as diligent at home. If a child has a fever or any symptoms, we're asking them to stay home. So
it sounds really very thorough, and I'm assuming in all that the teachers go through somewhat the same.
Absolutely. We do a screener every morning on our phone through company nurse. So every staff member answers a series of questions and to make sure that they're safe to be on campus as well. So I'll go back to the schedule. At 7:50, the gates open and that first AM cohort comes in, and teachers start instruction at 8 o'clock. And it is amazing. Our parents are so wonderful. Our kids are here by 7:50, 7:55. Screenings are done and students are ready to start their instruction by 8 o'clock. So they have from 8 to 10:35, and then that group leaves. We have a cleaning crew that comes in, and that's made up of our staff here. We have our kinder aides, our instructional aides are amazing, and they go in, they're all assigned to different classrooms, and so they go in through and clean all the rooms before the PM cohort comes. And then the PM cohort enters at 11:30, and they have their instruction until 2:15.
Sounds really well thought out. So congratulations
Thank
to
you.
you and everyone in the district who's been working for a long time on
Yes.
this schedule. So I'm going to shift gears a little bit and ask about your Measure O. The voters passed it in 2016, and that was funding to provide upgrades to school district facilities. And I noticed coming in today, there's a fair amount of construction going on. So could you let us know what that involves and where are you in the process?
Perfect. Yes, we're so excited here at Giesler to have air conditioning. That's one of our upgrades. And so you're sitting in one of our brand new classrooms, and actually the teachers haven't even been in here yet. They will be moving this coming Saturday back into this building, and they've been out of this building since the very end of the school year. So they moved to the interim housing, which is portables.
Oh.
And so Saturday, the moving team will come and move them all back in. So they're very excited. And some of the things and upgrades that happened with Measure O, air conditioning and heating system is brand new. Windows and flooring, as well as paint on the inside and out. So it is beautiful. I have to say the first completed phase was the office, and we just moved in about 3 weeks ago. About 3 weeks ago, which is exciting. It's beautiful. The air conditioning is amazing. So I know staff can't wait for everybody to be able to experience this.
Some may want to come here just for the air conditioning.
Absolutely. It's not a bad idea to come up here on the weekends sometimes.
Right. So tell me what your thoughts are on things like field trips, major events, maybe assemblies, and how are you going to be going through that over the next year?
And I know that all of those things are so exciting, and it's what brings our community together. But we are definitely being creative in what we're doing. We just finished with a virtual book fair. Mm-hmm. So normally we have that here on campus, but students or teachers were allowed to create their wish lists, and parents could go on virtually. Last year, our biggest fundraiser is our Gator Gallop, which last year we did virtually. So it actually ended up being a great event. So we're going to do that again this year. We're still doing dine outs. So some of the local restaurants have extended it from just one night to a week's event. So parents can bring in the flyer and still, support our local restaurants, as well as feed their families with some yummy food in the neighborhood. So we're still moving forward with what we can. As far as we used to have a Gator gathering every Friday, that's when the whole school came together, and I would lead all the celebrations. So I'm still doing that. I'm just doing it over the PA system.
Oh.
So I still go out to the classrooms and I give them their little prizes, and I'm still recognizing a student every morning over the PA system. We call it our Gator for the Day. And we're still doing our monthly Gator Awards, which normally we would bring on our community for. But instead I'm going to do a video to send it out to the community.
Oh, perfect.
Because we do want to make sure that the health and safety of everybody is our number one priority.
But I think it's important to continue those things that you've established over the years that people look so forward to.
Absolutely.
I know the students and the parents look forward to those. So it's important to keep those going, even though it's on a smaller screen now.
Exactly. Just for the time being. And what else I love that we're doing is our virtual families are also still receiving all of Geisler's PTO information, so they can still participate while they're in virtual school, because they're still they're a big part of our community. So we are including them as well in all the PTO announcements that go out.
I know I speak to alumni of a lot of the different Fountain Valley schools that want to find ways to continue to support that school that was so important to them at one time.
Yes, and we have our Geisler website yes.
And I understand we're waiting to hear from Mark Johnson about the dashboard program.
Yes, which is new. Parents can go to the Fountain Valley website and they can look up the new dashboard that is available. It gives lots of information, and I know Dr. Johnson will be speaking about that.
Terrific. Okay. I know that the district and individual schools have just done such creative things in Fountain Valley, which is why we're so proud of you.
Oh, thank you. Another thing I wanted to hit on then when we were talking about just reentering into school that I think is a really important piece to share is just how important the social distancing and the correct and proper mask wearing is. Sometimes our mask slips down, so you will often see a student reminding the other student to pull it up over their nose so and cover their mouth. But the students are doing an amazing job with the wearing masks, and they're really doing a great job with the social distancing. Also, in each of the classrooms, there are 15 seats forward facing with plexiglass dividers on each student desk. And they've all been measured that they are 6 feet. So, and we go back periodically to double check to make sure that the desks and that they are 6 feet from the teacher's workstation.
Sometimes I think that our young people are better at following those rules, like how to wear a mask,
absolutely,
wash your hands, use the sanitizer, than some adults are.
They've done a great job. And really, with very few reminders, the parents have been incredible. They send them every morning with their mask on. And so they're just very responsible.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think they probably were so excited to be back in a classroom and see their friends.
Absolutely.
And they're probably more than willing to wear that mask and follow the rules.
Absolutely. There's no greater joy than to stand on the playground right now and just hear them talk to each other and giggle and laugh. And they've come up with some very creative games where they don't actually touch each other. And they're very creative. And like you said, they just are thrilled to see their teachers and to see each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's wonderful.
Great for their well-being.
Terrific. How does mealtime work here at the school?
That's a great question. So mealtime is offered at both cohorts. So the AM group, if they're interested in taking a lunch, they get a frozen lunch. So the teacher takes the count in the morning and then they turn it in, and we have a great distribution system, and I have a couple staff members who pick up all the lunches and they distribute them to all the classes before the kids go home so they can take a frozen lunch home in the AM cohort.
Okay.
If they're in the PM cohort, they can come to school at 11:15 for a heated lunch, a warm lunch, that they can then sit in the bowl area, have their lunch. And then for PM kids, we have 12 to 12:30 drive-through service at several of our elementary schools. We do not have it here at Geisler. So parents can drive to one of those schools. And lunch currently right now is free, the federal lunch program, through December 2020.
So there's a lot more emphasis too on mental health and wellness by the district, the county, and the state with all the changes. So what kinds of things are you doing to deal with that?
I think probably the biggest one is bringing kids back. We've seen, I've had some families that have reached out that have had some concerns. Once the kids came back on campus, there was almost, this is their place where they can see their friends and see their teacher. And so it's been that piece in itself, I think, has really helped with some of the mental health. I think that the greatest gift is that we can see kids and we have that face-to-face contact with them. So we're able to see if there needs to be some intervention. But so far, it's a lot of happy kids,
It's terrific. So do you know if you have some students who, because of household situations at home, maybe someone at home that's more at risk, are they choosing not to come back to the classroom, and how are you handling that?
So parents had the opportunity to decide whether they wanted to go virtual for the entire school year or come back in person. And it was, it was a difficult decision for a lot of families because it's hard to predict so far out. And so I had several conversations with parents on the phone, and they shared some situations where a family member was living with them, had some compromised situations. And so through our conversations, they felt it was just best that they went virtual this year. I did have a few families that went virtual, and when in-person opened up, were anxious to get back on campus. So I'm so thankful that we had room because our class sizes are limited. We were able to bring some of those students that were interested back on campus when we first opened up.
Yes, it's just wonderful how well thought out the whole plan is.
It really is. And it's, I remember the night, September 21st, I think I might have slept an hour thinking of all the schedules, the recess schedules, because students have to stay within their cohort. So you have to move kids around on the playground, making sure that everybody has a little something to do. And then the cleaning schedules. That's the cleaning schedule, and the cleaning piece to this is truly one of the most important pieces. Right. And the work that's being done by the custodial staff is outstanding.
Well, Terry, I want to thank you for joining us today. We learned more about the staff and the administrators here. So there's absolutely no doubt in my mind that students are happy to be back, and teachers are happy to be back and seeing their students personally.
Yes.
Social interactions for students and our senior community is just so important for everyone right now. So do you have any thing that you'd like to add or share with our community?
No, I just honestly, I couldn't be more proud of the work that's gone into reopening up Geisler, just the staff. Thank you, staff. If any of you are watching this, you're truly a dream to work with. The parent community, amazing, and our students, our Gators, are some of the kindest and just greatest kids. So,
Terrific.
thank you.
Well, thank you.
Thank
you
you.
for being with us today.
Of course, thank you. I'm thrilled.
Other news in Fountain Valley, if you don't know by now, the Bouchard Bridge has been opened since October 12th. It has only been positive comments, and everyone is waiting for the Talbot Bridge to be open now. As you know, there was a fire there a few months ago on the Talbot Bridge, and that delayed it to March 2021. So it will be some time before that reopens, but everyone is looking forward to that very important link. So the freeway has been nonstop construction all this time, though, in an effort to speed up the project and try and stay on schedule. So I want to thank the community for your continued understanding of the 405 improvement project. I think everyone has experienced projects that hit delays and go a little longer than predicted, but they're doing everything they can to catch up with their schedule. So one day we will all be happy when all of this is over and there's better traffic flow on the 405 freeway. An option for Halloween afternoon is at the Fountain Valley Heritage Park. That's the park next to the library in Fountain Valley. From noon to 4 p.m. We're hosting a fall photo fest. There's a small donation at the gate for a family of up to 6. There's a flyer on your screen with more complete information. Fountain Valley Restaurant Week is coming up October 18th through 25th. Please come out and support our participating restaurants. And there is a list on the city's website. This is a great time to try a new restaurant or a dish, or go back to one of your favorites. There are approximately 20 restaurants that are participating, and that information is on the city's website. On Tuesday at 6 p.m. at the opening of the City Council meeting, the General Manager of the Orange County Mosquito and Vector Control District, Rick Howard, will be giving a presentation on mosquitoes, especially those new invasive mosquitoes that are pestering everyone in Fountain Valley, actually all of Orange County. So if you don't see this on Tuesday, by Tuesday, the recording of all of these messages is on the city's website and on Facebook and on PCTA Channel 3. They continue to air. You'll want to hear the presentation on the mosquitoes. He has a lot of information. The Fountain Valley Drive-In is this weekend. It's a great event. I know I attended, actually I walked around the drive-in at the first event, and families were having so much fun getting ready to see the movie and then watching the movie, snuggling down in their own car. This next event on October 24th, it's a double feature. And first is Hotel Transylvania. And when that feature is over, the ticket holders for the next feature, which is Hocus Pocus, will come in and start parking. So look forward to that drive-in event. I know a lot of us, people who have been here in Fountain Valley for a long time, miss our drive-in, but now this is another way to enjoy that drive-in movie experience. So remember, wear your mask, cover your nose, keep your hands clean, use sanitizer and wash your hands as often as you can. Until next time, be safe.